That time in 2014, there was a hudud cyclone at that when it was construction, and we have asked that people what is it can stand. But at that time, initially in the Vizag, it used to be 150 kilometers per hour. But when hudud cyclone has come, we have to design for 250 kilometers per hour.
We have adopted all the local materials and done it with cost-effective and the alternate methods of construction. We have in fact adopted the same local labor. They started coming up with their own designs and they have taken the molds to their own buildings and they started building the domes. So as you know, like this Hawa Mahal in Jaipur, it has that screen. So we have used the same concept here. So people can move around the corridor but they will not be able to be seen from outside.
जो म्यूजिक
This is the one of the project. It's a convention center in Andhra Pradesh. It's near to the beach. As you can see here, it's very near to the sea where there is a submarine. Here the concept, what we are thinking is, because it's a coastal area, so we have to take a lot of precautions because the salinity is very high when compared to Mumbai also. So we thought of having a concept of roofing system because the spans are very high in convention center. So we thought of very hard kind of a structure and concept. We thought of taking it like a tortoise and inside like a wave type of this thing and the bubbles. Here you can see in this convention center mostly is the most technical part because the visual angles are the most important things here and the acoustics. If you are not well with that, then the project is a failure. So here you can see the different levels and also the convention center, generally it's a 2000 capacity, but in most of the convention centers, all 365 days, 2000 capacity will not be filled, but only 1000 or 500 or 750. Here we made a concept of different levels where one level 2 can be used with a different entrance. So that is our objective with the partitions behind it. And we have created an entrance lobby in any areas. Entrance lobbies are very important. You can see this curved wall, it's a beam. As you can see here, the sight lines, how it has been worked out. Here the structure, it is the curvilinear beam that is 32 meters. General length can be anything, but curvilinear beam is the most important thing. Structurally, it is very issue. You can see the beam here. And this is the main entrance lobby, and we have created a cladding with that lift. And here the main entrance, we thought of putting inclined column instead of the straight columns. These inclined columns has been done from inside to outside also. All the columns are being inclined in the same angle. And when we work out with inclined columns and the straight columns, you will come out with the different junctions. So there is when inclined column and the straight columns have come, twisted is there. So we have to work out that glazing, that is also very task, so we have to work out that. And the portico. And here the most important thing is the elevation, the bubbles. So we have worked out the pattern of bubbles with, as you can see that horizontal and verticals are the beams and columns. So we have to just put that oval shaped this thing on that area, how it can be worked out with different permutations and combinations. You can see the under construction that ring beams are being casted, lifted by that cranes. So that part, this is a staircase external wall that gives you the elevation because the beach road and the public building. This is the final building. And the final thing is that roofing part actually. The roofing part, we thought of different materials, zinc or aluminum. So we have thought of zinc, we have want because it's in the beach road. It has to be in a good shape and that structure. As you can see, under construction, there are trusses, as most of us know, because there's a lot of services to be done. Because the structure engineer we don't have AutoCAD drawings. The manual drawings used to be there, so we have to On site, we have to go and check it and try to work on it. You can see that construction detail, the layers of that roofing system. It's an insulated puff. It's a VM zinc we have used. I think they give a guarantee for 260 to 100 years, because in the European countries, because at that time in 2014 there was a Hudud cyclone at that when it was construction, and we have asked that people what is it can stand. But at that time initially in the Vizag it is to be 150 kilometers per hour. But when Hudud cyclone has come, we have to design for 250 kilometers per hour. So we have asked that agencies, the French people. So they said that in Europe we have hailstorms and snowstorms. So it can take things. So these are the construction. They got a machine there and they can fabricate it on site. This is just a comparison between what should material could be taken, like aluminum or zinc. And these are the views of the building. This is the final building. This is one more building is Krishi Vigyan Kendra.
We just wanted to add to this project actually. This part is been taken up by the Andhra University where we have actually graduated from. So this is something like we have done it as alumni of architecture department from Andhra University. It is a really happy moment for us to give back to the university or the institution to which we have passed out from. So that is one thing I just wanted to add. So the next project is a Krishi Vigyan Kendra. This NGO is essentially into the village skill development and other things like that. So we have adopted all the local materials and done it with cost effective and the alternate methods of construction. So this is basically a three-phased building in which first phase comprises of all the laboratories and store and other information center and all. So second phase is the dormitories and dining part, and the third phase is the staff quarters. So actually reduce the cost and all. We have designed the roof in such a way that most of the building spaces are into the funicular shell module, like which is 15 feet by 10 feet. So we have done it as the same roofing system has been adopted for all the thing. So these are some of the sustainable things we have adopted. So that is using local available material like the stone pillars and all. So funicular shell and the filler slab and the locally available stone for flooring as well. So these are the some of the building pictures. So in the center part, this is the their information center. Like basically there is a central pyramid space which encloses holds like events and exhibition spaces like that. And all these are like scientific staff and laboratories and technical people and other things like that. So these are the arches and other things like that we have adopted, and this whole central building is totally of the naturally available stone, chiseled stone actually. So the filler slabs and other things are supporting that. This central span arch which is there, you can see it like this. I just wanted to add one thing here. So when we were in the college, so Venu is my classmate, so he knows much better actually. So all of us we went to Auroville in our second year's tour. So at that point of time, that is the first time when we actually saw an arch being constructed and a dome without centering and all are being constructed. So we were so thrilled by it, and we came to our university and tried to build a small thing 5 feet by 5 feet with small 4 arches and a central dome on top of it. With that, we tried so many times, but we could not get the how to actually keep an arch standing. So that was collapsing for so many times, so we finally left it. And finally, in our early practice buildings, like we could build the same thing, like it's a 20 feet arch. We failed at building a 5 feet arch at our college, and this is the second thing we have done it. So all the, as you can see, filler slab which is already exposed, funicular dome, which is all exposed with so many patterns in it. And the thing is, as I said initially, like the NGO which we have is being constructing this particular Krishi Vigyan Kendra, which is funded by ICAR. They have actually trying to develop the skill sets of the local people, like the good quality of construction, masonry work and all. So we have in fact adopted the same local labor to build the buildings. So this funicular shell is being adopted so well by them, like they started coming up with their own designs and they have taken the molds to their own buildings and they started building the domes, like, because as you know, it is a simple thing which complete the roof and you immediately take off the shell and all. So that is why it is very good, like जो होता है ना, like मन की जो नज़दीक है, तो something like this. We feel very happy to be associated with this project. So these are some of the farmers hostel, dormitory and the kitchen block. So these are some of the completed pictures. Yeah, this is the next project.
This is a public building. It's a tourism project. It's a TU-142 museum building, but it is a museum with a public access. So as this is also in the beach road, we have very high winds. So the idea of putting this kind of shielding to that aircraft is because the salinity is very high, because the existing submarine is there. They're putting a lot of money investment on the maintenance part. So maintenance is the major issue here. So we want to shield that aircraft from the bad air or the salinity air. So that is the basic idea. And one more thing, we want to make a curiosity to the public, what is behind that, basically the wall. You can see the layout here. So we made like a hangar type of, because it's an aircraft museum, we made it like in a hangar. So these are the construction details, because we have to make double columns and beams to hold that wind. This is the final building.
This is one iconic project which we have done. So this is at the this is basically a IT township which is called Miracle City. The Miracle Software Systems is the client, and they have a huge land bank of around 600 acres, in which they have developed a part of it as IT township. So in this, there are 4 call centers. At the center of that building, we have made that central iconic structure which is called Miracle Tower. So there are for their trainees hostels and staff quarters and also some schools, everything. It's a huge township. Some of their completed buildings in that. So this is the specific building which we were discussing. Like this is at the center of that 4 call centers at the center of the building. The main purpose of this building was to host their international clients who will be attending their meetings and all, like to take them to a premium space to have things like that. Like in fact, if you are aware with Visakhapatnam, the location is 60 kilometers away from this place, Visakhapatnam. So at that point of time, there was nothing to be called as iconic, and nothing was there. This IT structure is the biggest project at that point of time. So it was like the client wanted it to be like an iconic structure which stands tall in the center of the thing. So we have come up with this kind of design. So this is a 150 feet tall structure. So in which there is a 3 parts, like I can show it, like this is the arrangement of it. So we have a podium at the center, at the basement, so in which all the services, everything will be like housed in this place. And we have 3 lift shafts and a staircase to reach to the top of it. And it's a combination of 2 pyramids, like one pyramid is a inverted concrete pyramid and the top one is the glass pyramid. So which gives the basic concept is the like visual these things, material and visual impact. Concrete is as you know sturdy and robust. Glass is delicate and elegant. So we thought of putting those 2 things into a combination. So these are some of the models, study models which we have done. Yeah, in this, that concrete space which is there, it houses 2 spaces. Like one is the banquet hall and the other one is the kitchen and the services like toilets and other spaces like that. And on top of that, restaurant and a mezzanine floor. That will be like the used for their international clients and all, for their premium dining and experience. So some restaurant floor plans which we have indicated. And in this project, we have used the roof glass is a combination. Like it's a sandwich glass with Pilkington outside self-cleaning glass and a low-E glass inside, and with a insulated layer in between. So which sandwiches the glass, and as well as the thing is there. Like that self-cleaning glass is basically, whenever the rain falls, it automatically gets cleaned and washed away by the this thing, and it has been imported by the client from. Yeah, these are some of the construction pictures. Yeah, but unfortunately, this project has been stalled at this stage. So the client was like, they have their own priorities, and this is not a kind of. It's just a passion of the client, he started it. But somehow, after the IT boom has collapsed at that point of time, so it is just stopped at that moment. It is waiting for a new dawn. This is how. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Gurjara Kalakshetram. It's an open-air theatre. It's a old one, it's an existing one, so it's something like a retrofitting of the building. It's a 3,000 capacity OT. It's in the city, in the heart of the city actually. So here we have given some design of the roofing so that more programs can be done. So here we are trying to say that we have worked out that all kind of trusses and everything. So, and here the acoustics is also a problem, because in closed convention centers, acoustics will play a different role, but in open, you have a different role. So when it rains, there's a lot of sound, and when there's a road, outside sound will come. So we have to take care of that. Even though we have taken the roofing system and the acoustics panels, still that we cannot try to avoid it. These are the details. The roof here, the chairs also, actually for plastic chairs, acoustics is not a good thing, as we know that. But here for maintenance, it's an open air theatre, so dust will be coming, so that plastic chairs has to be taken care. And the roofing is it's a polycarbonate sheet. It's a multi-layer sheet, so there's no screw and bolt on top of it. It's called a standing seam section, which is used in other convention center. So the leakage will be very minimized, and so these are the roofing patterns of the polycarbonate with different colors and like that. You can see the details there. So everyone has to learn the product, basically the materials and the usage of that. Then only we can try to suggest or guide the client in a better way.
This is another project called Damodaram Sanjeevaya National Law University, which is again a campus design. So in which there is 15 acres of land in first phase, in which we have constructed the academic building and 2 hostel blocks and a central kitchen and dining. So the next phase is comprised of auditorium, indoor sports, and vice chancellor and registrar's residences and some staff quarters and all. So this is basically a classroom and academic building. They have their double height library building, classrooms, and there is one moot court which is there. And this is the central courtyard which we have given, and the staircase which takes to the top floor. And in this also we have used the same kind of brick exposed structure, and to give the harmony to the university. This is boys hostel. This is girls hostel. Girls hostel, we have designed it in a introvert kind of planning. So all the rooms are facing inside courtyard, and the outside courtyard, outside is the corridor which is all around the building. So as you know, like this Hawa Mahal in Jaipur, it has that screen. So which gives essentially the privacy that is required by the students which are there. So we have used the same concept here, like all the outdoor, those red dotted lines you can see all around the building. So they have been covered with this brick jalis, like which 100% ensures their privacy inside. So people can move around the corridor, but they will not be able to be seen from outside. And their entertainment and all the spaces are inside the building. So this is how we have designed it. So this is their canteen buildings, the central dining facility for them. So in which also like it's a huge dining hall. So we have given that central skylights to have the lighting everywhere in the building all during the daytime. So there is no need to put on lights. This is the overall campus design. This is the first phase development. We have the entire hillock on the other part. So we are coming up with the auditorium and the staff quarters and other buildings in the next phase.
This is Amrita University in Amaravati, where it's almost 200 acres. We have just done the master planning. It's under construction, about to complete. So here we have done the hostel buildings. It's 11-story building. So we have taken the H type of a plan to get a better lighting and better ventilation. That is the basic starting of a planning for anyone to do it. So the form and shape is very important when it is a natural lighting and ventilation. Generally it's an hostel, it's not at all AC. So proper orientation and the openings way can get weighted so that air ventilation can come through the building. So this is the about to finish the building.
This is another campus design which it is still proposed, like it is at the tender stages. It is shortly going to be grounded. So it is a campus, training campus for the greyhounds. Greyhounds is a force to counter the Maoist Naxalites and other people like that. Their activity is more at the Andhra-Orissa border, like where the Maoist activity is more. So they go for combing and other things like that. So when the teams, they come back, and this is their training facility and the space for their resting. So this is a 400-acre site, almost 394 or 400 acres of site. So in which it is a combination of hillocks, like 3 hills are there. So in which we have given the entrance on either side. Like there are certain residential colonies which are already developed at some places. So accordingly we have designed the zoning and other things like that. There is a existing quarry adjacent to this part, and the government officials are trying to relocate it. So this is their southwest hill, which is of 120 acres in the whole site. That red boundary is the 384.5 acres of land. So that north hill is around 90 acres, which is basically that 7 to 12 degrees with moderate slope and all. So this southwest hill is a little means steep, 15 to 52 degrees is the thing. So that central low-lying land is around 5.5 acres of land. So in which we have designed it in such a way that we have used the central space, which is low-lying land. We have created it like a water body in which that creates a feature to the site, as well as that becomes a buffer between the staff quarters and the bachelor's barracks and all. So all these are bachelor's barracks, and their training facilities, everything is here. And this is their essentially that firing range and short firing range and combat and other things like that. All the training facilities are here. Their central grounds, and these are the buildings which we have done. Swimming pool and indoor sports complex.
It's a small residence, it's a guest house. So it's a small, say, 2-bedroom guest house. So we just try to play with that concrete roofing actually. Just a small room, all around verandas and everywhere with arches. You can see the shape, it is done with the concrete roof. And this is one building, residential, we are doing for 17,000 SFT. It's a very modern building, and we have done some fountain from the first floor to second floor. It's under construction. This is the plan. As we know, we have to do according to Vastu and everything, the double height. Here we created a library with an interesting, like a circle kind of a thing, so that it will be very interesting to sit around. And we have just given a proposals to the government actually. It's a 100 meters tower, still under process, and a snow wall. So, and this is at Amrita University. We've given a proposal for a knowledge center. It's a central library. So it's the second phase, maybe the way we are about to start this project.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम अशोक गोयल है. आई एम स्टूडेंट ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर.
Hey, everyone.
मैं आपके जितने प्रोजेक्ट्स देख रहा था, बड़ा आनंद आया देख के, बड़ा इम्प्रेस हुआ. सब में आपकी एक छाप दिखाई देती है, एक आपका सिग्नेचर दिखाई देता है. जो म्यूज़ियम देख रहा था मैं, उसमें छाप भी गायब थी, सिग्नेचर भी गायब था, दिशा भी गायब थी, दशा भी गायब थी. कहीं से कला संस्कृति नहीं दिख रही थी. ऐसा क्यों करा आपने? मेरी इसको टिप्पणी को आप अभद्र मत मानना, मैं सिर्फ जानने का इच्छुक हूँ.
Basically, it was a public building. It's a museum, so it is a functionally it is done. So it has been involved with different people. Actually, it is naval people, Oda, tourism, and everything. So it was done within 1-2 months only, and that doesn't mean that we don't have to do it. But still, there's lot of we give different kind of shapes and everything, whatever it is. But generally, what happens when we work with officials or other people, there's lot of constants and money and time. Because at that time, some colonel is getting is going off actually. So he wants to, deadline is there, between that he has to close it. Whether you finish it or not, he wants to, that's it. Though there, as you know that there's so many issues will come around. We want to make many things in this world, but whatever we can do, balance ourselves and try to go ahead. That is all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.